Hey, welcome back. Been trying to expand the channel, do some new things and all that, and been doing a lot on StreamYard with the live streams. And I realized something on Sunday. I tried to cancel a live stream, so I canceled it on StreamYard, but it doesn't take it away from YouTube and Facebook and all of that, because I do the multicast, simulcasting to the different platforms. Live and learn. Now I know. But today I've got an exciting one for you. I made that trip to Tennessee a little bit, a couple of weeks ago, week ago, whatever, and picked up a bourbon on suggestion of, and it's something I couldn't find around here, but I've been wanting to try it for some time. But let's get into it right after this. All right, we have George Remus. Now this is a special bottle. Don't know how special, but we'll see. We'll see. So I had a couple of different. They had selected a couple of barrels. So George Remus. This is a single barrel, specifically selected by B&B Package Store, a 2021 selection. This is I picked up in Tennessee. And I met up with Cindy and her husband there and Beanie. And then Marty from Whiskey Nose showed up, and we had a little lunch together. We were at a cider house, and then we went down to the package store. And one of the first things he said was, "Dude, you got to get a bottle of this." And as soon as I saw George Remus, I was like, "Oh yeah," because this is MGP's flagship right here. Now, they don't disclose the specific mash bill on the George Remus, but we know that they have 5 different mash bills at MGP in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So, but this is supposedly a high rye, version of that. That's all I know about it. I have never tried George Remus. Like I said, I've been wanting to. I've always talked fairly highly about MGP juice. I know it's Smokewagon out of Las Vegas there has it. One of my favorite, the Uncut Unfiltered is one of my favorite bourbons. It's really, really good. And that's procured bourbon from MGP. So I took the plastic off. It's laying over here to the side. And let me cut this little paper here with my thumbnail, and then we'll uncork this thing. Good cork pop on it too. Bourbon Bounty logoed etched glass. Let's go ahead and pour some in here. We're not going to pour a whole bunch. It's a work week. I didn't get to record a video yesterday. I was actually helping my son. He came to me and said, "Dad, I want to do a YouTube channel." And I was like, here we go. Get ready. Buckle up, Buttercup, because we're going to do it right. And search for names and come up with something that we didn't show up on Google searches, all that. It's a whole big process. So let's slide this over here out of the way and get some color. Look at the color on here. It's pretty good. Medium amber. The legs are going to develop, but they're not quite there yet. I'm starting to see beads come up across the top. It's always good to get a little air in that bourbon. Let me give her a nose. All right. It's caramel on the nose. A little spice coming through on the nose. Now, one thing I did not go over, since this is a barrel pick, it's important to note that this is 114.1 proof, so 57.06% alcohol by volume. The one thing it does not do on here, so this is cask strength, but it's a lower cask strength, which means they barreled it at a lower proof, which is good. I mean, I like it whenever, if you're going to release a lower proof bourbon as a cask strength, the only rule is you can't dilute it when it comes out. You can proof it down or distill it distill it lower, proof it down before it goes into the barrel. But to call it cask strength, it has to come straight out. So it does not give a barrel number on here anywhere, which not that that's going to affect most people. But I just like to record what barrel it was because they can vary wildly between, not super wildly, but you can get some distinct flavor differences between barrels. And if they're not blending and it's not a small batch and they're not blending them together, that barrel has to stand up on its own. So That's important to note, because if you blend them all together, the variations can be distinct, but once you blend them all together, it kind of washes it all out. And we know that small batch is also, there's nothing legal around it. Depends on who you are. If I produce 5 million barrels a year, I could call 5,000 barrels a small batch, you know. All right, so I'm getting some fruit notes and things off there. From what I was able to discern, this is supposedly a high rye, but let me get the tongue wet on this. Right on, baby. Wow. Oh, that's good. I don't like to give a lot of notes on there. It's a good shock to the system to get that first sip out of the way. I haven't really checked the legs too much yet. I know they're there because when I put that in my mouth, it flooded my entire palate. So, oh yeah, we're getting some good beads. Oh, there they are. Let me get the light just right. Oh yeah, these are thick, slow legs. Okay. Wow. That does have a really good spice kick in the back. Sweet down the middle, oaky on the sides. I don't know the char or anything on there, but man, that is pretty good stuff. I'm going to have to pull the Smokewagon. That's why I didn't pour very much, because I'm going to pull the Smokewagon down. And I can tell you it's not Smokewagon. It's not that, you know. But, I mean, it's the same producing, but they procure the barrels, blend them different, do stuff, all that. I'm going to get the Uncut Unfiltered, yes. And this one may overpower it, but this one is 58.12. So absolutely going to do this. And this one's 57.06. Not a lot of difference here. Not a lot of difference in the proof. But I have to put these side by side, because I'm getting low on this, and I thought I was going to be able to get it whenever I wanted it, so I'm just going to pour a tiny bit. And last time I was there, she had the regular Smokewagon, did not have the Uncut Unfiltered. I can already tell you from the pour itself that this one over here, the Smokewagon Uncut Unfiltered, is a little oilier, a little bit thicker stuff. Okay, this one here is a lot lighter on the nose. Let me swirl this a little bit more. This one has a good punchy fruit note that comes out, and the spice. But man, this thing here reminds you of like a darker, whew, it's creamy, it's good, fruity, but let me try this one. Oh, there's that 1-2 punch. That sucker here is good, boy. If you get a chance to get your hands on a bottle of this, that little black wax in there, Uncut Unfiltered, okay? This is some really good juice. But this one here is different enough, and standing up toe-to-toe with it, I can tell you that already. Oh, yeah. There's a little more bite on the back end on this one, a little more spicy bite. But man, that creamy, that baked fruit notes in there is so good. Let me go back over. Well, let me wait on that, because I want to really get a good sense of what all I'm picking out in here. There's fig, there's raisins, there's, oh man. Oh, wow. That is fantastic. I will be getting more George Remus. But that Smokewagon is really good. Man, I love them both. I love them both the same, but they are different. They both have similar, the darker fruity tone notes to them. But that finish over here on this George Remus, almost, I mean, both of them have a really good finish. And I always call this one my cigar bourbon because I like a bourbon that has a good spicy finish on it to pair with a cigar. But I may have a new one over here that I like with a cigar as well. And you can tell, excuse me, you can tell how much I enjoy it because you can't really see because the bottle's dark, but it's right here. It's about right there is where my bourbon line is. And with having over 100 bourbons behind me, I drank that much of one of them, you know the sucker's good. But this one here is not going to last long either, but I know where I can go back and get a bottle of it. And it's about a 2.5 hour drive. Oh, wow. That is so, so good. Dang. Yeah, that is fantastic. And anyone who says that they don't like rye, I know this is a bourbon, which means it's 51 or more % corn, but these higher rye bourbons like this will let you know kind of where to go, you know, with some of these ryes. And someone was asking me about a rye the other night on a live stream, and I told him, I said, Mammoth Woolly Rye is good. I got a bottle of it, a little sample bottle. That stuff's fantastic. It'll fool you, but it's 100% rye. Dang. Oh, wow. That baked apple, you're getting some cinnamon kick with some all-spicy kick. You're getting a good, robust, full-noted bourbon. Fairly complex for the price on it. I forget what I paid. I think it was $55, $60, somewhere along there. Well, this one is, I know we don't like to use smooth. This one, the drinkability on this one, it goes down a lot cleaner, less scraping, you know, in the back, you know, on the burn. But the warmth is still there. You still get a really, right now, I'm in a big old bear hug right now from this. I mean, the warmth from, you know, both of these is just incredible. And it feels like you're getting a big warm hug. So that's why they call it a Kentucky hug, you know, but these are Indiana ones right here. Well, Las Vegas blended Indiana hug. But yeah, I'm getting a really good hug off these things. A good warmth coming down to the top of the stomach. I can feel it right there. These are fantastic. Highly, highly enjoyable. So I'm going to sit here and finish both of these, and I'm going to keep going back and forth in my mind, trying to figure out which one I like better. I don't think there's a winner. I think they both win. They're different from each other, but they're so good that I think both of these are winners in my mind. And a lot of times, guys, when I'm doing reviews, and I've had some feedback that said, "Oh, you were too nice on that bourbon," or you were, you know, that was one of the worst ones on my shelf and all that. Look, I deal a lot of times in single barrels, and variations of different releases of things can have a big impact on it. The other thing is, you know, barrel to barrel are different, but the other thing is it's a personal thing. And I also rate bourbons based on their price. If I paid less of a price for a bourbon, I am not going to rate it as harshly as if I paid $100 or more on that bourbon. Once I hit a $200 price range, that thing better give me the tickles when I drink it. I mean, it better knock my socks off. But if I buy a $36 bourbon, I'm not expecting, or a $40 or whatever, I'm not expecting that thing to stand up to these $90, $120, $280 bourbons. I'm expecting it to be in its swim lane. And when I find one that I think is more noted, that is a little more complex at around like $40-something, I'm gonna give it a little more praise because I'm like, dude, they're onto something here. It's not great, it's not awesome yet, but if they keep going at this, you know, with this pattern they could really produce something good one day. And, you know, I don't always articulate it that well in the video, but that's what's in my mind. So guys, if you hear me and you don't like a bourbon, one, it's personal choice, and I'm only bringing you what, you know, I'm doing here, but I try to let you know whether it's complex or worth the money. I think both of these, if you can find them, you know, definitely worth the price. They're both well under $100, and they're even closer. This one I think is around 75. This one's closer to 60. So buy them because they're super. Now, if you're not very far along in your bourbon journey, work your way up to it, right? And if you want some suggestions on that, just hit me down below in the comments. I will give you a path to go on and say, hey, try this and this and this, and then work your way up to something like this. Because, you know, I don't want you to get lambasted by something that I suggested and you go, whoa, because there's so many notes, it blows your mind and you're not used to it, and it's hot, or, you know, you haven't conditioned yourself for it or whatever. But there's a lot that goes in behind what we do here. We don't eat a long time before we do these tastings. I mean, we eat hours, you know, before. We don't drink coffee. We don't drink carbonated sodas within like 2 hours of doing this. We drink water only. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this, with us preparing to bring you all these notes. So guys, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. As always, please like and subscribe, hit the bell down there for notifications, and I promise I'll keep bringing you these videos.